Welcome back to the channel, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and just dive right into the reaction first, and then I'm gonna talk, right after, because after seeing the title, and shout out to the homie Fadeaway Media, he keeps everybody up to date with so many different clips, different sports, all that good stuff. So make sure I go ahead and hit him with a follow, man. But this is the clip right here, and The Rock right here is explaining. Oh, in this part right here, it says The Rock says ticket sales were low for the Elimination Chamber, so he came up with this segment for Cody to sell his soul. There's good and bad to it, and a medium to how I feel towards it. But I actually want to get your thoughts on this, but it's only a short clip. Let's go ahead and watch it. I don't want to waste no time. Let's get it.
Sales are a little slow, but beyond that, he goes,
ticket sales are low.
What we're finding is with Elimination Chamber, it's become the pay-per-view that's been interesting. Fans have had fun, but it's also the conduit to WrestleMania. And how do we create a Elimination Chamber that people must tune in to see? How do we create that? And he goes, right now we don't have that. And he said, will the final boss show up? I said, well, let me give it some thought and let me get back to you. So I gave it some thought. I got back to Ari, I got back to Triple H and Nick. We had a call. And I said, I have an idea. What's most important to the final boss? The most important thing to the final boss isn't titles, it's not money, it's not fame. Been there, done that, and grateful for that. Final boss wants your soul. And what does that mean? What that means, that doesn't mean, hey, the final boss wants you to act like this, be like this at his beck and call and treat you like crap and make you do all these things that are unbecoming or embarrassing. That's not what the final boss wants. That's not how the final boss flies. No.
I'm listening. I hope y'all are listening too.
Whatever you could think of in your head. So Cody Rhodes, whatever dreams you have, whatever ambitions you have, even if they're dark, even if they're amazing and they're full of light, even if they're scary, whatever those are, you tell the final boss he's going to make it all happen. You wave that magic wand, he'll make it all happen. So when it comes to giving me your soul, giving the final boss your soul, that is what you want, not what the final boss wants. And so what does the final boss get out of that? I get your soul for life. That's what the final boss gets out of that. So now we go into Elimination Chamber with this idea of, will Cody Rhodes sell his soul to the final boss? And my thought at that time, and you and I might have even talked, I know we talked about this, was it was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss?
All right, that clip just ended. So let me explain this to y'all. So then there was a tweet that I had retweeted, and it was basically saying that The Rock had no plans on being a part of anything at all after that. Like after his final appearance towards Elimination Chamber and Cody said, go F yourself, he had absolutely no plans on involving himself after that. Pretty much, he only did this because the ticket sales were very slow leading up to Elimination Chamber. They needed something that was going to be concrete. That's why The Rock came out a couple of times. He made some appearances and he approached Cody Rhodes and basically said, hey, if you want to, whatever. And here's my biggest problem with this whole thing. This is not like one of these promos where people are having feuds and there's story buildups. They were looking for something else, an audible again. And so they looked to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. What can we do? And he came up with this gimmick, this little short story. But when you don't fulfill the expectation of the fans, it's considered misleading. So you misled and basically falsed a story and made people, and I said made, I'm just saying, spend so much money on tickets because now, since you involved yourself, you made the story interesting. Well, not me, but the fans who show up to the programs, physically, literally, ass in seats, you have them expecting The Rock to pull up. And then there's this fucking world tour. The Rock obviously not there. Then when they finally get back home, The Rock doesn't even make an appearance. And then, of course, John Cena sells his soul. I think in Elimination Chamber, he basically does the whole gimmick. See, I would be okay with it if The Rock wasn't involved and it was just merely off the fact that other wrestlers in the locker room who were cool with Cody pulled the Rey Mysterio treatment where almost everyone turned their back on Rey Mysterio at some point. Any wrestler you could think of, Eddie Guerrero, Batista, doesn't matter who. And so in this scenario here, The Rock, you interjected, you brought yourself into this a couple of weeks in, you started appearing on shows. And what makes it worse is that you even involved Travis Scott. So because involving Travis Scott, you have like this sort of like group kind of like we're forming and it looks like it. And then you have this whole final boss thing, I want your soul. And now you're basically saying, oh, that's all it is. It's just that I want your soul. So what do you do with that material? You was never going to follow up with anything after that. And he's basically clearing that up. I was never going to follow up with anything after that. The other tweet even specifies he was never going to do anything with that after that. And if you guys don't believe me, I'll show you guys right now. So let me see right here. Oh, shout out to Quan. He said The Rock really didn't really just exposed everything. There was no long-term plan. There was no 20 steps ahead. There was no plans of him showing up or being involved in the road to WrestleMania. Selling his soul just meant nothing at the end of the day. This could have all been done without him. This was just to get all done on the fly due to slow ticket sales during WrestleMania. I mean, during Elimination Chamber. So that is much worse than following up with a storyline and a gimmick like what he did in WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40, when he interfered in and whatever you want to call it, and he ended up trying to take the story away from Cody and he made it about him and Roman. There was a big ass audible. He backs away and makes it about the bloodline, the family, and you just disrespected the family, and that actually made it better. Now in this case, do we blame The Rock because The Rock said they asked him, what could we do? What should we do? He had to come up with something on the fly. I can't be too mad at The Rock for having to help out with something along those lines. But gosh, man, like this is what I was trying to tell y'all. This is why the results of WrestleMania Night 2 was shit to me, because not the results. I wanted John Cena to win, but the way the match went, there was so many missing pieces to this. I don't know how Triple H, I don't know how Nick Khan, I don't know how Ari, I don't know how The Rock did not see, hey, yo, if we don't include you in this may leave a bad taste. And let me just say this, Raw the next day, Raw was excellent. It was amazing. But that doesn't mean that we're gonna forget that we literally went through this whole situation and thought you were gonna be a part of it. You led the fans to this expectation, this hype that, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And what the result was, Cody didn't even kick John Cena in the balls. He didn't even hit him with the title belt during that match. He took 2 embarrassing L's during that match. One, he got kicked in the nuts, and then hit with the belt and got pinned. He didn't even give Travis Scott the receipt. And if The Rock wants to sit here and say he had no plans, it was just because the ticket sales were slow, you literally lied and gimmicked the fans into buying tickets and knew you weren't going to be a part of anything else, while the fans in social media was like, oh my God, I wonder what The Rock is going to do. Who else is going to join The Rock and John Cena? So then with the whole John Cena shit, he turned heel because of you, and there's no you in it. John Cena could have just turned heel. He could have just turned heel on his own. He could have got tired of this shit. We would have been hyped regardless. That's why we found it mad random. First off, it was random when The Rock pulled up and went like that, and then John Cena, because we assumed you being there, that was going to cause a big thing. Let me just tell y'all, we could have an amazing event without The Rock involved. And I don't want to make it seem like we don't need him, but like literally WWE doesn't need him to be involved to help ticket sales. John Cena alone, had he just turned heel right there in that moment, if something could have happened, bow, it would have gotten a pop. Dominic Mysterio received a crazy pop. He received a crazy pop. Even yesterday on Raw, when Sami Zayn got down from the turnbuckle, the camera aimed at him looking at Jay, and we thought he was about to turn on him, and the crowd went off. That's to tell you the fans want this shit. They didn't need Dwayne. Like The Rock didn't have to be involved in that. So I'm telling you, this was so pointless. And the delivery, the execution of the match was so poor, because this dude Cody has held the title. And look, I'm a guy who wanted Cody to lose. I wanted Cody Rhodes to lose. Cody literally held it all the way down all this time, all for a whole year and some change, to only lose in such an like a weak ass manner. It didn't make John Cena look like a powerhouse. It didn't make John Cena look like he was a tyrant. It didn't make him look anything. There was missing pieces in this match, and it looked very like empty. It looked like you just threw seasoning, you threw chicken to boil and fry without seasoning. Like there's missing pieces to this entree. And then you still have Travis involved. You have Travis Scott involved. Why did he still pull up? We didn't need him then. The Rock came down with Travis, so we didn't need Travis. And I have this idea, this thought that Travis didn't want to really get hit. Maybe he apologized. Maybe he's like, no, I don't do this receipt shit. He never got a receipt. He got hit with a crossroads. That's not a receipt. A receipt would have been if he would have got a chair shot to the head, or if he would have got a little cut, little blood, or he would have got popped. He would have got slammed somewhere on a table. They gave no room for Cody to at least fight back and look like he was the last living face on the earth and the last living hero that people wanted, and then he gets destroyed. Like it looked so bad. It looked poor. It was a poorly put together match. The thing is, these guys fought to the death, but like Cody looked like he never experienced fighting. So he fought Roman Reigns. Now all of a sudden, what we trying to say, that Roman Reigns ain't got shit compared to John? Get the fuck out. This dude, Cody Rhodes, fought Roman Reigns, the guy who held the title for 4 years and nobody can knock it off of him for 4 years. You telling me the way this match looked, John Cena just like tortured him the whole match. There was no fighting chance for Cody. This is what I was trying to tell y'all, man. The match was sloppy. People like, nah, but who cares? John Cena won. I'm like, dog, I wanted John Cena to win. Hello, but like the whole point that I'm trying to say is there was something missing, something wrong with this, man. Something is missing, something's wrong with this. And look, we have it here. The Rock went out his way, like to basically give clarity that, hey, I was never gonna return. Like that's it. Like I was never gonna return for this. It was just because of slow ticket sales and we needed something. And so we pulled like a quick gimmick. And what's worse is the reason why people was also misled, and I'm sorry for rambling, was because people also noticed and witnessed other wrestlers being involved. Seth Rollins gave his 2 cents. Did Karrion Kross? I'm not too sure if he did, but I know even CM Punk gave his 2 cents. Other wrestlers were involved. It's so underwhelming and lackluster. That's like if they have promo of Stone Cold Steve Austin pulling up at a pay-per-view, but he never shows up to fight. That's like Randy Orton, okay? That's like Randy Orton having the snake thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, he's gonna go after the title next. And then there's never no word about it, and all of a sudden Backlash or whatever pay-per-view comes up next, and they never fight. Well, you led us with this expectation, the way it looked, the way it all formed. Hey, listen, I'm just saying this is, and then to put ass in seats, y'all, they would put more ass in seats if these tickets wasn't $30,000. Did you not see that clip of Randy Orton? Randy Orton, there was a clip. Let me see. Does Wrestlemania even have it? There was a clip where Randy Orton just took a picture with a fan. With a fan, bro. Let me see. Holy shit, I'm getting like a bunch of, I don't know. Let me see something. This is WrestleOps. Let me see. Do they have anything? The reason why ticket sales are slow is because y'all forgetting that the average wrestling fan are probably the average living like human being that gets paid regular. Not everybody who goes to wrestling events are rich. We're not the fucking green t-shirt guy. So that's the disconnect. So now you're doing fake gimmicks and you're doing false gimmicks and leading people to believe something of a story, because that's why we watch for story, and you threw that in there. That's like doing a fake ass giveaway, and then you have people over here giving in $5 for entry tickets, and then when the day comes, you do a giveaway for it or you show it, but you give it to like one of the homies, and then you be like, oh, the giveaway winner's the homies, but you just pocketed everybody's money, son. Hey, listen, I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. God bless. Peace.